Hallo zusammen, grüezi miteinander. Mein Name ist Andrea und ich komme aus der Schweiz. Did you understand any of this? Don't worry, because I like to teach you Swiss German the easy way. First, I'd like to teach you some facts about our beautiful country, Switzerland. You might know we are really a small country and we don't have too many inhabitants. We have about 8.6 million inhabitants. But even though we are a really small country, we speak different languages. We speak 4 official languages. First of all, most people speak some form of German, which is about 65% of the people. Then we have the French-speaking part, which is about 23% of the people. And then we have Italian. Only 8% of the people here speak Italian. And then we have another really interesting language, which is only spoken by about 0.7% of the population, which is called Romansch. And Romansch is one of the descendant languages of the spoken Latin language of the Roman Empire. Swiss German is not an official language because Swiss German actually, it just refers to all possible Alemannic dialects spoken in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. And it's actually nothing other than the collective term for German dialects in Switzerland. We have uncountable different dialects in Switzerland. I tried to Google it and I just couldn't come up with a number because some say we have dozens of dialects, others say we have hundreds. The good thing about having so many dialects is we can very well define where a person comes from. For example, I can hear, you come from Bern, you come from Lucerne, so I know immediately when I hear somebody speak where this person comes from. And that sometimes makes things easier for us. Some say that years ago, when we weren't able to communicate like we do nowadays, when people live in the valleys and in the mountains, they were not really able to talk to each other too well, and so everybody developed their own dialects. Swiss people understand most of the dialects. Of course, there are 2 or 3 dialects that are even for me quite difficult to understand. For example, the dialect from Wallis or Uri. My dialect is a form of Zurich dialect. It's not an extreme Zurich dialect because I have a mix of a little bit of Lucerne and Aargau, so it's a mix. And it's quite similar to High German. I would say the Zurich dialect is the closest you can get to High German. So if you already know High German or a few words, or if you are familiar with it, this might be the easiest dialect to learn for you. So that's why you have to learn Swiss German with me, of course. The answer is no. Because Swiss German has its own pronunciation, it has its own rules, and we have many different words, and we have a different grammar. Swiss people in general, we do understand High German very well, because we have to learn it at kindergarten already. 4 or 5 we start to learn German. Most people from Germany, they don't really understand Swiss German. So a lot of Germans, when they come here, they think, oh my God, what the hell, what kind of language is this? I thought it would be so similar to German, but it isn't. Also, most of the time when we speak to German people, we automatically switch to German. Because German for us is so familiar, For us, it doesn't make a big difference, but the other way around, it does make a difference. And so when I speak to German people, they usually say it takes them about 3 or 4 months in order to be able to at least understand the most important things in Swiss German, or to get used to it. Most people here, they know English. So when you come to our country, you will hear, even if you try to speak Swiss German, out of politeness, people will switch to English. But of course, if you want to learn a language, don't hesitate to tell the Swiss people, stop, I want to learn Swiss German. Unlike standard German, Swiss German is usually only a spoken language. So we don't really have rules of how to write in Swiss German, which is also a cool thing about our language. I think if you want to learn it, there are no rules. So when we write, usually, especially in formal situations, we write it in High German. So if you know a little bit of German, it can give you a head start if you come here to Switzerland. At least you will be able to read things. But more and more nowadays, with the like chats or social media, these kind of things, WhatsApp, whatever, we tend to write things in Swiss German. 2 cool facts about Swiss German. First of all, there are only 2 tenses. There's only the present and the perfect. The second one is there are no official rules of Swiss German orthography. The orthographies used in Swiss German literature. The orthographies, oh, English is so difficult. The orthographies in Swiss German literature can be roughly divided into 2 systems. First of all, those that try to stay as close to standard German spelling as possible, and those that try to represent the sounds as well as possible. There are almost no schools or YouTube channels or books which help you learn Swiss German, and that's why you should stay tuned on my channel and let me help you learn Swiss German. And please subscribe. I would love it if you told me what you would like to know next, or what's the most important things you would like to know in Swiss German. Hallo zusammen. Hallo zusammen. Grüezi miteinander. Grüezi miteinander. Mein Name ist Andrea. Mein Name ist Andrea. Und ich komme aus der Schweiz. Und ich komme aus der Schweiz.